Viewers, we've called 4 poll of polls. The one that we called the last was Uttar Pradesh. That's the poll of poll numbers, 244, 139. Some outliers, viewers, like the Axis My India, 307 for the BJP. And then, of course, at the lowermost side is the Polstrat 218. So the range is between them, 244. Let's have a quick look at the Uttarakhand, Goa, and the other numbers that are coming up. These are the poll of poll numbers before I hand it to Navika Kumar, my colleague who walks in. Uttarakhand, 36 viewers, 31 for the Congress, 36 for the BJP. This is not looking good. Navika, as you walk in to take over and get into NewsHour, what's going on?
Well, the takeover is happening right here with the numbers, and as far as Punjab, these are the Uttarakhand polls. Who's taking over, we don't know. They're all ready. Yes. Harish Rawat, if the Congress actually feels him, then he's ready. He's got his Bangala out, and so does Pushkar Dhami.
Yes.
So BJP, if you see some polls giving it to the BJP, and then these two give it to the BJP, then these two give it to the Congress, and then this one gives it back to the BJP.
Everyone is confused.
Everyone is confused. But you know, the average number is close to the Times Now.
Exactly.
Veto poll.
Yeah.
So we can say that.
Yes.
But both chief ministers.
Let's have a look at Punjab.
Have their bangalas out.
Punjab history.
Punjab is history. If this
Absolutely.
is the way, everybody showing a collapse of the Congress party.
Yes.
And if you see, the Congress party is down to the 20s. In fact, today's Chanakya gives it 10. Which means Sidhu and Channi's war has actually done it for them. And then the breach of the Congress of the Prime Minister's security could be another reason. So 2 reasons. Despite the Dalit Chief Minister not quite making it, and then Aam Aadmi Party.
Yes.
Oh my God, 100 seats by today's Chanakya. That's the outlier there. 82 by Axis, and that seems to give it to it's Aam Aadmi Party all the way in Punjab.
And Goa, viewers. So Aam Aadmi Party in the conversation in 3 states, actually. It's very interesting. Goa, Uttarakhand to some extent, and Punjab.
Uttarakhand, I don't know if they're making, but definitely in Goa. And if you see the Goa picture, the Congress has an edge, but they had an edge even in the last elections. And yet BJP made the government there. Last time Digvijay Singh missed the flight.
Yes.
This time P. Chidambaram in charge of Goa. Will he do a better job than Digvijay? Because many people
There are very good resorts in Goa, by the way.
I don't know if they're going to keep them in Goa resorts. I'm told the Uttarakhand Congress is moving people to the Rajasthan resorts. Maybe the Goa Congress is also going to, because that's the government that they have.
The same one where Katrina and her husband got married?
Well, there are many.
6 senses? Okay.
There are many resorts there.
Look, we've all lost our senses here trying to make sense
out
of these numbers. But Navika Kumar takes over, viewers, and she's got another special list. A list.
That's right, the VIP candidates and who's winning, who's losing, where are the upsets, all of that. And we'll of course look at what this means. Goa, Uttarakhand, not quite clear, but UP, big victory predicted for the BJP. Does that really mean that the BJP is ahead in the national sweepstakes? What about people who begin to say that the BJP is not handled COVID well? What about people who say that whether it was Uttar Pradesh or the central government, there is anti-incumbency, there are problems that the BJP seems to be facing? All of those questions have been coming in, but if you take a look at this particular poll of poll results, it's very clear at this point that the BJP getting Uttar Pradesh will be the big talking point. And ladies and gentlemen, if you look at, you're watching a very special edition of the NewsHour this Monday evening. We are about to show you the results, in fact, the exit poll results, and we're just about 60 hours from counting day, that is 10th of March. 5 states have voted, and it's number crunching time, and time for some, including me, to look at what is going to happen. And these are exciting times, and I have in my studio journalist, senior journalist who's seen several elections, and over the next 60 hours, these projections are going to be giving nightmares to some and confidence to some others. From outrightly denying these projections to finally coming around and assessing what if this is the real reality on 10th of March. The next 2 days are going to be extremely hectic for all stakeholders, political pundits, and of course your election news headquarters here at Times Now, where we will keep getting you the very latest behind the scenes, because we're already hearing news of some MLAs or possible MLAs being put ready, chartered planes all set, resorts all booked, because who knows what's going to happen. For all our viewers who are just tuning into our broadcast, let me straight away take you to a quick overview of Times Now veto survey projections and what they look like. Let's start with Uttar Pradesh and the state that engages the interest of the entire country. And if you look at the poll numbers, this is Uttar Pradesh, 403 seats, 225 by the Times Now and veto poll, 151 to the Samajwadi Party, 14 to the BSP, Congress 9, others 4. That's what Uttar Pradesh looks like in the Times Now poll. We will take you through to the poll numbers a little while later, but let's look at Uttar Pradesh. And next coming in is Punjab. Very important state going to the polls. The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party in a head-to-head contest, 70 to the Aam Aadmi Party, 22. Virtual collapse of the Congress party despite a Dalit chief minister. The infighting has done the Congress in. Shiromani Akali Dal at 19, BJP and Captain Amrinder Singh at 5, others at 1. Uttarakhand coming up next, and Uttarakhand, our exit poll gives Uttarakhand to the BJP 37. That's 2 past the halfway mark. And I spoke with Pushkar Singh Dhami just a short while ago. He was gung-ho, a little, modest, very humble man. We asked him the question on 37, very close to the halfway mark. Does it mean that when he's in the driver's seat, there will be several backseat drivers? And he smiled and he said, whoever is there, conductor, backseat drivers, he'll take everybody's support to run the government. That's Pushkar Singh Dhami for you. 37 to the BJP, 31 to the Congress. And now coming up, Goa, Pramod Sawant, 14. Now, many people would have expected anti-incumbency to come up, but Pramod Sawant puts the BJP in the race because it's very close to the Congress party, pretty much like last time, despite a 5-year tenure there. So Pramod Sawant, I would say, not doing too badly. Congress 16, still not being able to capitalize on the anti-incumbency. They definitely don't need Digvijay Singh. Can P. Chidambaram pull it off this time? And if you look at the Aam Aadmi Party opening its account, Trinamool Congress, I don't know. I'm trying to get a sense of whether it's part of these others. And that really is the way this Goa result in the exit polls is going. We look at the poll of polls, which we just saw a short while ago. But let's take a look at the big VIP seats. Who's winning? Who's losing? In Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, absolutely no surprises there. Yogi Adityanath winning Gorakhpur and defeating Chandrasekhar Azad, Ravan as he's called. In Allahabad, Siddharthnath Singh winning the Allahabad West seat, defeating the Samajwadi Party candidate Richa Sharma. So he keeps it with the BJP. Karhal, no surprises. Akhilesh Yadav defeats SP Baghel. And that's what this exit poll. Again, Major Sunil Dutt Dwivedi of the BJP winning the seat here in Farrukhabad, defeating Louis Khurshid. Swami Prasad Maurya losing. That's the big upset. Swami Prasad Maurya losing, and that is what is going to be the biggest upset in Uttar Pradesh. Did Akhilesh Yadav calculate it right when he chose? We'll go to the Punjab VVIP seats, but first, let me get a quick round from my colleagues in the studio. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Smita Prakash, editor ANI, Saba Naqvi, senior journalist, Ashutosh, senior journalist, Swami Prasad Maurya. Ashutosh, big upset?
If he's losing, then of course. That means the entire narrative which was built around the social forces leaving Bharatiya Janata Party and going to Samajwadi Party was wrong.
Was wrong.
Yeah.
Saba.
If the BJP's vote share has not dropped while the SPs has gone up, it's a fantastic result for the BJP. Without a doubt, because your poll is showing 35% for the SP, which means they've had a growth, but there's no droppage in the BJP vote share. If that is going to be the result, it's a fantastic outcome for the BJP.
Smita Prakash.
Yeah, Maurya losing, if that's going to happen, is going to be very significant, because you know, when he moved from the BJP to the Samajwadi Party, the BJP didn't put him down. They didn't say that he's doing this because of personal reasons, because his son is not getting a seat and he wanted that. They did not run him down because they didn't want to annoy the caste factor. But if this has happened, that just goes to show that this whole caste affiliation thing, this whole caste politics thing there's going to be a lot of rethinking on that in Uttar Pradesh.
Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Well, I mean, the exit polls are quite clear in one thing, that you can't have both of these possibilities, which are that the economy has tanked, unemployment is at the highest level, people are desperate, destitute, the health has collapsed, the education is gone, law and order has collapsed, and yet Yogi has won and beaten anti-incumbency.
But you know, look at the range. 225 seems to be the most, I would say, you know, very, very...
There's another poll now.
Conservative.
Today's Chanakya is giving 295 to the BJP. I'm just
so
saying.
it's below the 307.
Yeah, just come on
today's Chanakya 295. Well, but everybody's getting the direction right.
Yes.
You know, it's in one direction. There's nobody who's an outlier as far as...
37 years that a chief minister has managed to beat anti-incumbency and going to be elected again. 37 years.
Well, let's take a look at the Punjab numbers now. Important to see the Punjab VVIP seats. Let's just put those up on our screen. Charanjit Singh Channi winning. No surprises there. Charanjit Singh of Aam Aadmi Party not winning. And Harmohan Singh of Shiromani Akali Dal is being defeated. So Charanjit Singh wins his seat. Patiala seat, this is Chamkur Sahib. Patiala seat, of course, Captain Amrinder Singh holds on to his bastion. Aam Aadmi Party and Congress not being able to upset that. So Patiala is with the Maharaja of Patiala, Captain Amrinder Singh. Now let's look at Amritsar. That's an important seat. Well, if this is happening and Navjot Singh Sidhu is losing, this is a big upset. What are you saying? Big headline?
Big.
Navjot Singh Sidhu losing and Jeevan Jyot of Aam Aadmi Party.
Not only losing, but number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3. Absolutely. He's on number 3. No, actually number 2.
Actually,
Number 2. Shiromani Akali Dal is behind. So,
wow.
Navjot Singh Sidhu.
To use a Sidhuism, there is light for Navjot Singh Sidhu at the end of the tunnel, but it is coming from a train that is about to run him over.
Well.
But it's significant.
Let's look at the Dhuri constituency. Bhagwant Singh Mann, of course, winning, and 70 seats is what our poll gives the Aam Aadmi Party. Bhagwant Mann winning this seat, and of course Congress and Shiromani Akali Dal being defeated. That's the Dhuri seat. So that's the Punjab headline. And
but Navika, here if I may, just 5 seconds, I want to correct you and ask you whether it was a Freudian slip, because you started your program by saying that Punjab is history. I'm sure you wanted to say Punjab is making history. Because
did I?
Yes.
You know, I've been anchoring since 5 o'clock, so maybe it was just a tongue of slip.
You know,
it could be tongue of slip.
Slip of tongue.
Slip of tongue.
I deliberately did that, Saba. Come on, you should have got the joke. Smita,
no, but
they're out to get me.
Yes. I think you should
switching on from Hindi.
Ladki hoon, lad sakti hoon.
A line just did not work. Right?
Well,
so
it's not working here either.
Let's drop that line, because clearly, if what you're showing is right, Navjot Sidhu is, you know, people have bought the line that here was a winning streak that Amrinder was going to deliver to the Congress, and you had Sidhu who was decimating impacting the Congress story significantly. And if this is what is the prediction which is coming behind you, that Sidhu is losing, that just goes to show that he needs to go back to Bollywood, and politics is really not his cup of tea, because even the TMC won't have him at this rate.
Well, on this, Atishi joining me live, on the NewsHour. And Atishi, I want to ask you, all polls show a decimation of the Congress party and a victory for the Aam Aadmi party in Punjab. But the big headline that we are getting you is that we are predicting, at least the veto poll is predicting a loss for Navjot Singh Sidhu being pounded by the Aam Aadmi party candidate in Amritsar. Now, how do you see that as a headline, and a woman candidate at that?
First of all, Navika, the trend is absolutely clear in Punjab. The people of Punjab want Aam Aadmi Party. The people of Punjab want the Jhadu, and have decided to really sweep out everyone else as per, I think, exit polls of all channels. I think it is very clear that the people of Punjab want change. And I think that you can see exactly the same in Amritsar East as well. That people did not want this politics of let's say the politics of staffing, there where you have Navjot Singh Sidhu, who was ready with a quick and quirky line for everything, but substantively people understand that the Congress has not delivered. People voted for Congress in 2017, hoping that they would bring change against what the Akalis and BJP had done in the 5 years before that. But I think in 5 years, it's very clear Congress has done nothing. And it's also very clear that Congress's strategy of just replacing one leader by a second has not fooled the people of Punjab. People of Punjab seem to have given a very decisive mandate for Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, let me introduce my panel tonight. Dr. Sambit Patra of the BJP. We missed you, Dr. Sambit Patra, because I think you just shifted to Manipur and forgot that there was a Delhi and there were other states. You were so busy in Manipur getting elections done there. So I just hope you're going to be in Delhi more than you're going to be in Manipur. Also joining us this evening is Nawab Qasim Ali Khan, former MLA of the Congress party, Kapil Madan. He is a political analyst. Sudhir Dubey, leader of the Samajwadi Party, Faizan Khan, national spokesperson of the BSP. And Dr. Sambit Patra, first to you, BJP, of course, every single poll says the BJP is making the government. So, ab ki baar phir se Yogi Sarkar and aayega to Yogi hi was the nara in Uttar Pradesh. Do you think Akhilesh Yadav, who just tweeted a short while ago and thanked people of Uttar Pradesh for helping him cross the halfway mark, that he's got it wrong, or do the exit polls predict a wrong result?
Navika, thank you for the welcome. I had really missed these faces, the faces with whom I had spent half of my days, almost too many years. I had missed you all, but anyways, it's welcome back movement. I would say that as a spokesperson, we should not, pick up fight twice. Exit poll day is something which we should all relax. We should all just assimilate the figures rather than fighting with the figures. I believe we should take up the fight if the need be on the exact poll result day. So let's wait for that. Let's not fight today. Number one. Number two, on a serious note, as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned.
Ye kab hua, Dr. Patra? Aapki tabiyat theek hai? Are you well?
You've become so magnanimous going to the northeast of India.
No, I am well.
Come back to Delhi. You need those facts.
No.
Ye kaun sa virus hai?
I think something is wrong with Sambit Patra. Kayantaran ho gaya lagta hai ye to.
Kya ho gaya, Dr. Patra? Ye kaun sa mutated
wait for a while. So gradually I'll come to my own self. Wait for a few more minutes. It's just the beginning. Wait.
Achha, you mean to say by 9:30? By 9:30 you will begin fighting. Abhi aap magnanimous mode mein hai, kyunki 307 seatein nazar aa rahi hain.
Navika, just as you are keeping the suspense alive by rolling out the figures in phased manner, ki first phase mein itna milega, second phase mein itna milega, we are also going to roll out our own selves in a phased manner. Now coming to a serious and a very important issue as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, I firmly believe this election in Uttar Pradesh was between kaun jaat ba versus Kaun Patba. Kaun Jatba had become a very common talking point. You know, almost every second journalist and every second person going to second house and saying, Kaun Jatba, kisko vote dega? But the real election was Kaun Patba, who got what? The tangential benefits that people have got. Na ikrar, na inkar, it is the silent voter ki sarkar. The silent voters, the women who have been given safety beyond imagination, you know, the people who have got ration, this 1.5 years of ration during the corona period, the people who have got vaccine, the people who got e-shram card, 1,000 rupees in their accounts, they have silently thanked Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, and they have silently thanked Mr. Yogi, their Chief Minister, and this is what is the story of India. I would conclude by a request, please don't keep Manipur out of your poll of polls. Please, it is very important part of our beautiful country. Include Manipur, the beautiful Northeast also in your poll of polls.
Well, we'll get those numbers, but Dr. Patra, मणिपुर और गोवा के बारे में तो कहा जाता है कि नंबर जितने भी आए सरकार तो बीजेपी ही बनाएगी. तो इसमें सस्पेंस ज्यादा है नहीं, बट लेट मी गेट इन मिस्टर दुबे ऑफ द समाजवादी पार्टी. दुबे जी आप क्या जवाब देंगे संबित पात्रा को? he says that आप जाटबा पे अटके रहे, वो पाटबा पे चले गए, यहीं यूपी बा हो गया, यूपी में योगी बा. Can you hear me, sir? Mr. Dubey, can you hear me? Mr. Sudhir Dubey? I think there's an audio problem. Ashutosh ji, can you take that answer?
Sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
अरे भाई, फेल हो जाएंगे. कपिल मदान जी, बीजेपी गिफ्टेड यू नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू, और अब कहानी खत्म हो गई कांग्रेस की पंजाब में.
I would like to respond to पात्रा जी कमेंट कि पहले यूपी में होता था कि कौन जाटपा. अगर ऐसी बात थी इलेक्शन कैंपेन बीजेपी का रियल मुद्दों पे होता, तो आई थिंक जो सीएम योगी आदित्यनाथ जी हैं वो भी जात के बारे में बात ना कर रहे होते, वो मुद्दों के बारे में बात कर रहे होते. अगर आप इलेक्शन स्पीचेस उठा के देखेंगे तो योगी आदित्यनाथ जी की, वो बहुत कंसिस्टेंटली एक पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी के अगेंस्ट बोलते चले गए. और ये सिर्फ योगी आदित्यनाथ जी नहीं थे, केशव प्रसाद मौर्य जी भी थे, और बहुत सारे बड़े लीडर्स थे जो एक्चुअली में जात बा के ऊपर वोट मांग रहे थे, और उसको मुद्दा बना के उन्होंने वो चुनाव लड़ा. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि आज की डेट में जो पात्रा जी ने बिल्कुल ठीक बात बोली है, टेक्निकली वो जात बा पे इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ना चाहिए था, बट मुझे लगता है कि क्योंकि पात्रा जी शायद मणिपुर में बिजी थे, तो परहैप्स बीजेपी वाज मिसिंग हिज गाइडेंस एंड हिज एक्सपीरियंस.
Well, if Mr. Dubey can hear me, Mr. Dubey ji, okay, there's an audio problem. Dr. Patra and Atishi, here the BJP, everybody is turning the direction to Uttar Pradesh. Seems safer for the Congress to discuss Uttar Pradesh than to discuss the complete decimation in Congress in Punjab. So, Kapil Madan, no words for Navjot Singh Sidhu?
So, Navika ji, if you see when Mr. Charanjit Channi was announced as the CM candidate, in fact, Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu, Charanjit Channi and the entire leadership came forward, and in fact, they respected the decision of the leadership. So, insofar as Mr. Navjot Sidhu is concerned, I think he has been a formidable leader for the Congress party, and he was also at the forefront during the entire election campaign. So this fiasco was created that ki Navjot Singh Sidhu hai, there is a rift between him, that, etc., etc. In fact, the election was fought in a very united manner, and the election was fought as a unit, as one unit.
That's not true. Nobody sees the Congress as one unit in
absolutely
in
not.
Punjab. You handed that over to the Aam Aadmi Party. Here was Amrinder Singh who was winning you the election, or at least seemed to be winning you the election, and the party handed it over to the Aam Aadmi Party. Not to put down the Aam Aadmi Party's campaign, which was perfectly on point. But I'm sorry, the Congress was a divided house, and the leadership picking up Sidhu to fight this and not causing this rift between the number 1 and number 2 in the party. They gave it over to the Aam Aadmi
Well,
Party.
the biggest breaking news is here. Just what everybody was waiting for. The Congress party has already begun to put its commanders in place. Resort politics is it beginning? First sources telling us Pawan Khera being rushed to Punjab, Dipender Hooda being rushed to Uttarakhand, and Shiv Kumar being DK Shiv Kumar being rushed to Goa.
And Rahul Gandhi being rushed to Bangkok?
That I don't know. My reporter hasn't reported that, and you're being very, very naughty, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
As far as Punjab goes, Navika, because you came up with smart lines, the Congress snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, without a doubt.
That's not the smart line. The Congress was determined to lose elections.
Oh, that's the smarter line.
Yeah.
That's the smarter line. लड़की है, लड़के हम उसकी बात से जाएंगे.
Or as I said, Navika, if Rahul Gandhi was the captain of Titanic, he would have been steering the ship all night in search of icebergs.
Just if we go by this whole poll, then the BJP remains safe in UP, exit polls. The Congress is getting decimated as a national party, and you have the emergence of a third party called Aam Aadmi Party. If you look at the broader trends, it cannot be ignored. If they win, if they are winning Punjab and they've made an appearance elsewhere, these are the big takeaways.
Absolutely. And Atishi, before I come to you, I want to get in Nawab Kazim Ali Khan. Nawab Kazim Ali Khan, is the Congress now ceding its place as a national political party and giving that space to the Aam Aadmi Party? Giving, literally, putting it on a platter, gifting it to the Aam Aadmi Party, कि हमें नहीं चाहिए, आप लेंगे.
In Uttar Pradesh is a different story. I think Aam Aadmi Party doesn't really exist in Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
But as for the Congress, it had to start from scratch. And it's really, the results are very bad. And in fact, I contested an election myself on the Congress ticket. And I knew it was a very tough ride. And so I had no expectations at all.
Oh.
In UP.
So this is very depressing kind of thing. I mean, come on. Even
But would you agree at a national level, the Aam Aadmi Party is benefiting from the collapse of the Congress party?
In fact, let's add to that. The Aam Aadmi Party actually destroyed
we
the
don't
Congress.
know. We can't really predict what's going to happen at the national level, because the results on the 10th are going to actually give a better verdict on what's going to happen on a national level. So right now, I think it's still premature to, comment on the eventual results.
I think that's all our horses.
Atishi, do you think the Aam Aadmi Party has taken the benefit where the Congress party is not being able to, put its position as a worthy opponent to the BJP?
I think, Navika, it's very clear that wherever the Congress was in power, they have not been able to deliver. So, in fact, the reason why BJP has come in power, be it nationally, be it in all different states, because people were tired of Congress governments not delivering over the years. And they said, ki chalo, kisi aur party ko to mauka do. Let's look for some change. And so, which is why even when tired of BJP governance or the lack of delivery on the ground, many states do not actually want to go back to the Congress. I mean, why is, if you look at Punjab,
what about the Trinamool Congress? What about the Trinamool Congress?
Voted, and so I think that the real, as Saba said, the story, I believe, that of these election results is about the emergence of Aam Aadmi Party as the main opposition in the country. So when you look after today, Congress is going to have 2 chief ministers, which is Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. And now Aam Aadmi Party is going to have 2 chief ministers, one in Punjab, one in Delhi. And so it is.
Well, that's a very important point, Dr. Patra. Do you want to respond to that?
There are a few things which has come my way, and I would like to respond to all of them. Number one, as far as Atishi's statement, of course they are doing well in Punjab, and let me congratulate the Aam Aadmi Party for the kind of fight that they've taken up in Punjab. We should be gracious. Number two, what Atishi said, that people are tired of the Congress party, though they do not like Bharatiya Janata Party, but because they have no option, that's the reason as to why they're voting for BJP. Absolutely unfounded and wrong. Goa being one of the best examples. 10 years of quote-unquote, though there was no anti anti-incumbency, but a narrative was driven home that there was anti-incumbency against Bharatiya Janata Party, but still we are doing better. The Aam Aadmi Party being present there since 2 terms. Similar is the situation in Uttarakhand. I mean, it was said that Aam Aadmi Party would be sweeping Uttarakhand because people want a change in Uttarakhand, but Aam Aadmi Party does not exist in Uttarakhand today, and probably we will be forming the government in Uttarakhand, as I am quite sure about it, and most of your figures are also projecting towards it. Third important state is Manipur. In Manipur also, we had a government and we are going to repeat the government. So this kind of statement that people do not have an option is absolutely wrong. Second important question is, remember about what happened in Punjab. Just a second, I'll just take 10 seconds. In Punjab, one interesting thing. One of the most important vocabulary used in this election was double engine. There are 2 types of double engine. One is double engine for development, in which both the engines work in tandem. And second is double engine of ambition. We had an engine of Channi and we had an engine of Navjot Singh Sidhu. When these 2 double engines worked against each other, the result is what is happening to the Congress party in Punjab.
Absolutely.
So
Pulling
double
in
engine has to be there, but they have to work in tandem.
ट्रेन के पीछे दोनों अलग अलग ले जा रहे थे. But let's take a look at the national. What are the national takeaways? NDA is still in pole position, but questions over governance will be asked if they are not going to be able to get a clean majority in Goa and Uttarakhand. Then these questions will be asked. UP, of course, shows that there can be a strong chief minister and he can deliver. Prime Minister Modi largely overcomes the mid-term voter fatigue, and he still continues to be the most popular face on the Indian political platform, and he pulls it off yet again. And BJP's hold over Hindi heartland largely intact. That is the big takeaway also. North of India, which was the BJP's strong point, BJP continues to hold its sway over that. Unemployment, a key issue BJP must address nationally. That is something that will have to be seen, because wherever there have been elections, this has come up as an issue. Aam Aadmi Party expands national footprint with Punjab victory. You could see that if on March 10th the exit polls hold true, then setbacks for the third front leadership because the claimants Akhilesh and Mamta Banerjee clearly not making it to the finishing line, and that can have a big impact. Goa is the saving grace for the Congress decline, which is continuing, but saving grace, you know, if they're still not getting a majority, then saving grace, I don't know. We're being charitable here. Credibility of the Gandhis politically and electorally completely in question at this moment, and BJP could get an edge in Rajya Sabha seats from UP, Punjab and Uttarakhand, and that will be a big gain for them. Governance delivery, not just Hindutva mobilization, will be critical for the BJP in the forthcoming elections. So we have elections in Gujarat, Himachal, end of the year. Next year we have the big states of the Hindi heartland, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, which will go to the polls ahead of the 2024 elections. So these will be crucial factors. Sudhir Dubey ji, अगर मायावती फैक्टर जो आपने साथ नहीं लिया, क्या इस वजह से खामियाजा है? और स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य का हारना जो हमारा पोल दिखा रहा है, क्या ये बहुत गलत कैलकुलेशन हो गई समाजवादी पार्टी की?
देखिए नाविका जी, सबसे पहले मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि जितने भी ये एग्जिट पोल आ रहे हैं, ये कोई फाइनल नतीजे नहीं है. ये कुछ एक लोगों के सर्वे में कुछ लोगों से आपने पूछ के और इस तरह का ये एग्जिट पोल दिया है. तो सबसे पहले तो मैं इस एग्जिट पोल को मैं सिरे से खारिज करता हूं, और मैं बहुत विश्वास के साथ ये कहना चाहता हूं कि 10 तारीख को जब ये नतीजे आएंगे तो निश्चित रूप से आश्चर्यजनक नतीजे होंगे. और मैं बड़े आत्मविश्वास के साथ कहना चाहता हूं कि समाजवादी पार्टी.
चलिए सुधीर दुबे जी, पोल ऑफ पोल्स अगर मैं दिखा दूं उत्तर प्रदेश में, तो इसमें लगभग अगर मैं दिखाऊं आपको तो 10 एग्जिट पोल्स हैं. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 एग्जिट पोल्स हैं, और सारे एग्जिट पोल्स जो हैं वो बीजेपी को दिखा रहे हैं मेजॉरिटी में. कम ज्यादा हो सकते हैं, लेकिन 225 से लेकर 307 तक के आंकड़े हैं और समाजवादी पार्टी को लगभग 86 से लेकर 150 के बीच तक के नंबर मिले हुए हैं। तो क्या सातों के सातों पोल जो हैं वो गलत हैं? सुधीर दुबे जी, कभी कभी कहा जाता है कि आप अगर गुलाबी चश्मा लगा लें तो गुलाबी ही नजर आएगा।
देखिए, अभी मैं देख रहा था तमाम चैनल्स पे जो वोट शेयरिंग दिखा रहे हैं, वो वोट शेयरिंग ज्यादातर जो समाजवादी पार्टी और भाजपा के बीच में जो वोट शेयरिंग का डिफरेंस है, वो डिफरेंस लगभग 4 से 5% का शो कर रहे हैं आपके एग्जिट पोल में। तो मैं समझता हूं कि जब नतीजे आएंगे तो ये बिल्कुल सही बात है कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर भाजपा और समाजवादी पार्टी की सीधी सीधी लड़ाई है। और दूसरी बात यह है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता भी यहाँ बैठे हैं और तमाम लोग भी बैठे हैं। तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि जो उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर बेरोजगारी, महंगाई, भ्रष्टाचार, कानून व्यवस्था, गंगा में तैरती हुई लाशें, हाथरस की बेटी के साथ अन्याय, ये क्या ये सब चीजें मुद्दे ये बिल्कुल उत्तर प्रदेश में खत्म हो गए? दूसरी बात, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आखिरी वक्त में ऐसा कौन सा काम कर दिया, ऐसी कौन सी उत्तर प्रदेश के
कौन सा काम कर दिया डॉक्टर पात्रा जी? समझा दीजिए, दुबे जी को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कि ये मुद्दे क्यों नहीं हुए। आप ये क्यों नहीं सोचते दुबे जी कि कहीं हो सकता है कि आपने कहा बीजेपी की हो लोगों ने? डॉक्टर पात्रा जवाब दीजिए दुबे जी को।
इस तरह के एग्जिट पोल कई बार फेल साबित हुए हैं और मैं
दुबे जी मुझे अलाउ करेंगे तब दूंगा।
ये जो एग्जिट पोल है ये बिल्कुल फेल साबित होंगे।
चलिए, एग्जिट पोल खराब है, गलत हैं, खराब हैं। डॉक्टर पात्रा जी, इनको जवाब दे दीजिए।
ठीक है, देखिए ये दुबे जी की गलती नहीं है, ये हम लोग दुबे जी अच्छे इंसान हैं। अब वो दुबे जी प्रवक्ता है, क्या करेंगे? वो तो बोलेंगे ही कि सरकार, दुबे जी तो फिर भी ठीक कर रहे हैं। दूसरे चैनल में अभय दुबे जी कांग्रेस के बेटे, वो बोल रहे ये सब बेकार है, ये कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने वाली है परसों। और वो भी अपना काम, वो क्या करेंगे, क्या बोलेंगे? वो बोलेंगे कि कांग्रेस की सरकार नहीं बनेगी। वो भी उनको ही बोलना पड़ेगा। और तीसरे, मैं तो बीच बीच में रिमोट कंट्रोल में सब चैनल चेंज करके देख रहा हूं। वो बसपा की भी जो हमारे खान चाचा, वो भी बोल रहे हैं कि बसपा की सरकार बनने वाली है। अब 2 दिन तो बोलेंगे ही, उसके बाद फिर ईवीएम को कोसेंगे कि ईवीएम खराब। अभी वो सब एग्जिट पोल को कोस रहे हैं, परसों से ईवीएम को कोसना चालू हो जाएगा। दुबे जी कृपया, ये जो है ये जो एग्जिट पोल है, इसमें ईवीएम का कोई रोल नहीं है, मैं बता दूं। इसलिए परसों आप ईवीएम को कोसिएगा, कम से कम आज बख्श दीजिए ईवीएम को।
दुबे जी,
वैसे नाविका जी, मैं आपको बधाई देना चाहता हूं। मैं एक बधाई देना चाहता हूं, एक बहुत अच्छे कांग्रेस प्रवक्ता को ढूंढ के लाए हैं आज। ये जो नवाब साहब कांग्रेस के प्रवक्ता आए हैं, बहुत अच्छे व्यक्ति रखते हैं। इन्होंने कोई आंकड़ेबाजी के साथ लड़ाई झगड़ा नहीं किया, इन्होंने तुरंत कंसीड कर लिया।
नहीं तो आपको नवाब काजिम अली आपको बहुत पसंद आ रहे, बीजेपी में लेने का इरादा है क्या? ऑफर दे रहे हैं क्या उनको?
नहीं हूं, मैं सिर्फ पूर्व विधायक की हैसियत से आया।
नहीं, कम से कम लड़ तो नहीं रहे हैं।
पर मैं कोई प्रवक्ता नहीं हूं, लेकिन मैं ये जरूर कहूंगा कि समाजवादी पार्टी की हार तो निश्चित ही है।
समाजवादी पार्टी
हार निश्चित है। चलिए, असलियत नजर आ रही है। कपिल मदान जी, आपको असलियत नजर आ रही है कांग्रेस पार्टी की, कि आप भी कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी सरकार बनाएगी उत्तर प्रदेश में भी? पंजाब में शायद ना बने, उत्तर प्रदेश में बन जाएगी।
कांग्रेस के स्पोक्सपर्सन
देखिए, आपकी आवाज थोड़ी ब्रेक हो रही है, मेरी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
देखिए नाविका जी, in fact I have said it on your earlier show also that it was the Congress party that has really played the role of the opposition, and in fact you will see that converting into the performance. I would not quote any number here, and I would not give much credence to the exit poll, because we all saw after the Bengal elections what the exit polls were saying and what was the reality. It was in fact everyone knows about that. So in fact, let us wait till 10th, and I am absolutely sure and confident that the Congress party will play a very, very important role, and the performance would be far, far, far better from where it stood earlier in the previous election.
Then why are special representatives being rushed to Goa, to Uttarakhand, to Punjab, if everything is hunky-dory?
Well, in fact, everyone has traveled. In fact, Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister Modi, was there in UP. Why he was there? In fact, didn't he had a faith in Mr. Yogi?
That was polling.
But that is campaign time. Now, can you compare the two, Smita Prakash?
See, the sad part is about this resort politics. I mean, we might all joke about it, but that is the sad thing, that this is what it comes down to, that even before the exit polls came out, Mr. Dinesh Rao had already said that Congress bigwigs have already gone to Goa, and it becomes a joke, of course, that one political party might may have the largest number of seats, but they may not form the government, because it doesn't happen like that in Goa. So this resort politics thing, which Karnataka has brought so much finesse to that art, has spread across the country now, and we are seeing Uttarakhand and Goa probably going to witness the same way, and we're going to see this buses going from here to there, and our camera crews chasing these MLAs who've got elected from one to the. It's a pathetic statement on the way elections happen, and this shouldn't be the case. But unfortunately, that's what it is. The other point, I think, when you brought up the issues, was about unemployment. Everybody has said that unemployment is a matter, and that's the reason why Akhilesh has done phenomenally well compared to what he was
actually
expected
3 times. He was sub 50, and every poll is giving him close to 150.
And now, there's just 1 year left for the Modi government before the next election comes, general elections, to deliver on everything. Because when the penultimate year and half of the previous year goes in just campaigning in this country. So the next 1 year, they have to deliver on the economy.
Saba Naqvi, despite these issues, if the BJP still pulls it through.
No, BJP is getting 40% of the vote share. After all of that, it's a phenomenal performance. If, let's see, Akhilesh, it's quite clear that there was a mahol. He's gone up to 35% according to this. But if it's a first past the post system. If you're not going to defeat the next guy, it is what it is. And we'll have to analyze.
If these numbers gets into the reality on 10, then there is no stopping to Modi in 2024.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. See, this was a.
But this is the poll of polls. Are you still saying I'm saying everybody's got it in one direction. I'm asking you a question on the poll of polls.
I'm saying if exit poll results are going to be a reality on 10th, poll and polls or whatever, that means this was supposed to be the toughest election for BJP in the recent past. Despite that, if they're getting these numbers, then 2024 will be cakewalk for Mr. Modi, and I'm saying this because I have seen.
You're saying UP. What if they can't make it in Uttarakhand and Goa?
Why I'm saying so in
2000.
Because in 2014, in the parliamentary elections, BJP got 42% vote share. In 2019, they got 49% vote share. And in 2017, 49 in parliamentary election 2019. In 2017, BJP got 39% vote share. Again, they are getting 39% vote share as per exit polls. That means when the Modi vote is added, so that 39 goes to 46, 47, 48. Who's going to stop in UP? And this will have a ripple effect in other states.
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर आ गया योगी तो 24 में आएगा तो मोदी ही. Once again, we are back on this results of the UP polls, and these are the results. And if you look at the exit poll results, Times Now veto poll 225, ETG is 235, PMark is 240, Jan Ki Baat is 241, Axis outlier here 307, C Voter gives it 236, Today's Chanakya gives it 294, so the BJP at about 250 plus. That's the number. The Samajwadi Party, 151 in the Times Now and veto poll, and ETG gives it 155, 140 in the PMark. Jan Ki Baat 150, 86 in Axis, 138 in C Voter, and Today's Chanakya 105. That's 134 to the Samajwadi Party. Whichever way you look at it, it is the BJP forming the government. So Ab Ki Baar Yogi Sarkar comes out true. Just yesterday, Yogi seemed absolutely confident when I interviewed him, and today, 252. He won't be happy with this because he's been talking about 300 plus, which is one poll that gives it to him. Let's take a look at the other states, and if we look at Punjab next, it's the decimation of the Congress party down to its 20s. And 23 is what people are giving Congress party. We have the Aam Aadmi Party in full majority, 82 one poll, 100 in another. 100 out of 117 in today's Chanakya. Preeti Sharma Menon, 100 out of 117. Is that something that even the Aam Aadmi Party expects?
I think everybody can agree that there is an Aam Aadmi Party wave in the Punjab, and across all the three segments, the major segments of Punjab, you are seeing that people have come out and voted en masse in favor of Bhagwant Mann. I definitely, the party has definitely estimated that we are crossing 80 with ease. Our vote share is going to be tremendous over there, and everything more than that is welcome.
Well, I just want to also get in the fact that the Congress being decimated by the Aam Aadmi Party and Aam Aadmi Party on its way to the national opposition party to the BJP. Is that how you see it? Because in Goa, the Trinamool Congress doesn't seem to have cut it, and the Aam Aadmi Party, Punjab under its belt, Goa opening its account, and Uttarakhand, I don't know, not too much being predicted in Uttarakhand. We can look at the Uttarakhand numbers as well. Goa, Aam Aadmi Party getting 2 seats, some people say 4 seats, and here also, average number is 16 and 16. Oh my God, how many chartered planes will that mean? Dr. Anand Ranganathan? Are you running out of wisecracks today?
No, actually, to be honest with you, the newsmakers today are Yogi and Arvind Kejriwal. You have to accept it. Oh. And the fact of the matter is that we may talk about resort politics, and that's the fact of life in Karnataka. Smita already mentioned. In fact, it's no longer just limited to 3 or 4 days in resort. I mean, it carries on to about 6 or more months. I mean, BJP has now 14 Congress MLAs as part of the government, including one forest minister who's facing 15 forest criminal charges. So it's not about what happens after, polls are cast. The question is, this question I must ask to Dr. Sambit Patra is that you have a relatively newcomer in AAP, having a wave in Punjab. Why has BJP never managed that in Punjab? Why?
Respond. And I just want to take the Uttarakhand numbers once very quickly, because I want to ask if in Uttarakhand the poll number is at 36 and 31. Dr. Patra, Goa, Uttarakhand, will you be able to stitch it together? Are your planes ready? And why can you not perform in Punjab as Anand Ranganathan says? Because Aam Aadmi Party also knew, but has made its mark.
Navika ji, is this question?
So the very erudite Anand Ranganathan, whom I literally missed while I was not debating, I would just say, remember, as far as the resorts are concerned, well, there are political parties which have taken to resort means of politics, but as far as BJP is concerned, we have resorted to the right means of politics, right intention, so that we get the seats.
So, पिछली बार का
so
Goa
different
और
resorts,
Manipur
different
भूल जाएंगे
means. Now,
Karnataka also.
अभी मैं आ रहा हूँ कुछ भी आप भूलने की कोशिश भी करें तो ये आनंद रंगनाथन भूलने कहाँ देते हैं रोज रात को किसी न किसी से सवाल तो पूछते ही रहते हैं
डॉक्टर पात्रा पंजाब में ये बताइए कि
you remember that there is I'm coming to Punjab also. Now 30 seconds you both have consumed. Allow me at least 15 seconds to answer what Navika has questioned. Navika, you questioned me about Uttarakhand and Goa. As far as Uttarakhand is concerned, the myth is that no government repeats itself. पहाड़ों पे सरकार हर 5 वर्षों में बदलती है. I can today say that as per the poll of polls, BJP is standing firm on its ground and BJP is going to form the government in Uttarakhand. We are going to break the myth. As far as Goa is concerned, despite the 10 years of being in governance, the kind of anti-incumbency that should have been against BJP, you yourself conceded by saying that Mr. Sawant as the Chief Minister has done a tremendously good job.
I'm completely out of time. 4 headlines that I would take out of today's exit polls. Headline number 1, 2 newsmakers, you're right. Yogi Adityanath and Arvind Kejriwal, the 2 big newsmakers in the exit polls today. Number 2, the headline I would like to take at this time is कि 2024 में आएगा तो मोदी ही. That has been written by Ashutosh. He's appropriated. He has the copyright on that one. So these are the big takeaways from today.
Congress Mukt Bharat dream of the BJP.
Absolutely. That is the third big headline, that the Congress can't even make it. It's a 16-16 tie for the poll of polls in Goa and in Uttarakhand. It could be the very, very humble and understated Pushkar Singh Dhami, who might just come back for a second time. Four big headlines, and that's where the exit polls leave us tonight. People are already looking at 10th of March to be the reaffirmation day. Congress being relegated to the history pages, Aam Aadmi Party taking center stage as the opposition to the BJP. But in 2024, in 2022, aayega to Yogi hi, it is going to be aayega to Modi hi in 2024. Well, taking a short break, on the other side, Padmaja Joshi. Don't go.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.